India is pushing to indigenize its defense capabilities with plans for a third aircraft carrier, underscoring Delhi's strategic concern of a two-front naval war against Pakistan and China in the Indian Ocean. India is considering ordering a third aircraft carrier based on its INS Vikrant design. The indigenization plan includes local production of arresting and restraining gear for launching aircraft, both previously sourced from Russia. India aims to have 3 of each system ready by 2028. Precision approach radar for aircraft carriers will face an import ban in 2031, adding urgency for India to develop the technology indigenously. Meanwhile, various parts of the MiG-29K carrier-based fighter will be made in India, including the multifunction display, integrated standby instrument system, tires, ground support equipment, and chaff and flares. India is also bidding to become self-sufficient in repairing the MiG-29K landing gear, self-protection jammer, oxygen generation system, and optical locator station. India plans to acquire 6 additional P-81 Poseidon long-range maritime patrol aircraft, while India's Defence Research and Development Organization is developing medium-range MPAs based on the Airbus C-295. Hello and welcome to News Affairs. Before we proceed further, we request our viewers to please subscribe this channel if you have not yet subscribed. If you find the video informative, please like and share the video. India's plans for a third aircraft carrier may face the same challenges as those of its long-delayed INS Vikrant, its first entirely indigenously made aircraft carrier. The difficulties encountered over the 13 years it took India to construct the INS Vikrant ranged from technical issues, funding and purchasing challenges. India requires 3 aircraft carriers to ensure continuous security on its maritime borders. 2 carriers would be deployed at sea, while 1 would undergo maintenance and refit. Cochin Shipyard Limited says a larger 55,000-ton version of the INS Vikrant design could be completed within 5 years. However, plans for a third carrier could face delays as the Indian Ministry of Defence is currently focused on advancing the development of nuclear-powered submarines. The fast-evolving security landscape vis-à-vis China and Pakistan underscores India's current requirement for a strong and well-rounded military, with aircraft carriers playing a crucial role. The Indian Navy focuses on a carrier-centric sea control naval operational concept, with a focus on establishing sea control or denial in more than one area. In fighting a two-front naval conflict between Pakistan and China, India can implement a sea control strategy against Pakistan and a sea denial strategy against China, with aircraft carriers playing a vital role in both. The Indian Navy's aircraft carriers could provide land attack capability along with power projection and blockade enforcement in a conflict with Pakistan. However, geography favors Pakistan as it can quickly reroute maritime trade routes closer to its littorals. Pakistan has several means to attack India's aircraft carriers using near undetectable submarines and shore-based anti-ship missile batteries. India's small deck carriers would in a conflict have to maneuver close to Pakistan's shores and thus come within the range of Pakistani's shore-based anti-ship missiles and aircraft. The threat of Pakistani aircraft could force India's carriers to dedicate a large proportion of their air wings to fleet air defense, limiting their striking power against Pakistani targets. While China's People's Liberation Army Navy is qualitatively and quantitatively ahead of the Indian Navy, it is not yet geared for a conflict in the Indian Ocean. While India still has a home field advantage in the Indian Ocean, China is slowly addressing its disadvantages, namely the lack of resupply bases and inadequate air cover for its warships operating in the region. Talking about India's home field advantage in the Indian Ocean, India asserts control over the region using 3 concentric fences, with aircraft carriers critical for its sea denial strategy. The first fence is the total control zone, consisting of the sea area up to 500 nautical miles off India's coasts. The second fence is the medium control zone, defined as the sea areas within 500 to 1000 nautical miles. The third fence is the soft control zone, which consists of the rest of the Indian Ocean. Finally, India's third aircraft carrier would enhance Indian Navy's capability to protect India's 7,500-kilometer coastline, critical for protecting India's seaborne trade, which constitutes over 90% of the country's trade volume. The third aircraft carrier is essential for asserting Indian presence in the key strategic areas like the Straits of Malacca, Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Bab el Mandeb, and the South China Sea, would help India project power and counterbalance China's growing influence. Besides showcasing India's capability to design and build aircraft carriers, it can boost domestic heavy and medium industries, create a network of MSME sector, and enhance youth skills while generating job opportunities. Jai Hind!